used to lay awake and shiver next to my kinfolk in the winter chill, listening for that midnight rumble to come roaring down the hill. Thought it was a jet plane, but it was just an old train winding its way down through history. Thought I heard a voice say, better call the right name, hop on board for eternity. It's okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Humanity Matters. Tonight's episode is called A Night with McCutcheon, and the host of our show tonight is Albert Torcaso.
Hey everybody, that's right, we are here with Mr. McCutcheon. So let's go ahead and introduce him.
My name
Wait. That's my call, wait a minute. That's his first time, He don't know what he's doing, he's in the FBI. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Let me do my introduction, then we'll put you on the air. How's that sound?
Gotcha.
All right. Sitting on my left is the one, the only, Michael the Renaissance Man McCutcheon!
Thank you, Al.
The Renaissance Man.
Thank you, Al. Thank you very much.
So, I hear that you're Michael.
Yes.
Talk to the audience.
My name's Mike McCutcheon. I'm privileged to know the three people sitting to my right.
Wow, crazy peoples.
I'm an artist, like the title said. I'm an artist, a bass guitar player. I love music, and in a little bit you'll see a little bit of my artwork in a few minutes or so.
What else are you? A cook?
I'm a cook. I cook for a living, and
Painter, musician.
and like I said, I play guitar,
all that.
and yes, I do all that.
Okay, so we got McCutcheon in the house.
Yes, sir.
So, now, you see it says over here on our monitor, it says one call waiting.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's go ahead and have you first pull out one of your pieces of artwork.
Okay.
Show it to the audience, and then maybe the caller will, whoopsie daisy, don't lose your art.
Okay.
What did you lose?
Right.
Uh-oh, don't lose that either.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
How's
and
that?
then what we're going to do is, it looks good. Yeah, it's showing up pretty well.
Yeah, it shows up.
All right, now we can bring that down.
Okay.
And then why don't you get the first call?
Okay. Yeah, we'll take the first caller.
Yes. Well, one thing is I cannot see your artwork because I'll get that station on TV. But Mike, I knew you for a long, long time, possibly about 15 years or even longer. But I do know that you have good artwork and you play guitar. I also know that in the past you've been in a couple of bands. I also know that you're involved with a real good program. I won't say the program because of confidentiality, but one thing is you do a lot at 8th Avenue Place.
Thank you.
And you have a lot of friends there, which I attend there occasionally, which I've seen you there. And I know that you're a good friend with Aaron and keep in contact. So you're probably wondering, who and how am I?
No
Not
swearing.
Yes.
No swearing.
Yes. Who are you, miss?
It's Chris.
That's not a miss.
That's Chris.
Oh, that's Chris.
He's not
Yeah.
a miss.
Okay. Oh, that's Chris Wise. Hey, Chris,
Yeah.
it's good to hear. It's good to hear you, Chris. I heard you're out of the hospital.
Hello, Chris? Hello,
Oh, we
Chris?
lost him.
We dropped our call, I guess. You there, Chris? Hello? Well, looks like we lost our call.
Yes, but that was Chris Wise. It was nice.
That
to
was
hear.
Chris Wise.
Co-host.
You still, no, I guess he's not there. So what do you think about Chris calling in?
I'm very
pretty cool,
yeah,
huh?
I'm very honored with all that he said, about me, which is all true. And
Right.
and I have to say I've known Chris Wise, or should I say Chris Wise has known me all my life. So
Okay.
we all grew up in a place called West Homestead, And yeah, Chris, thank you for the call, and thank you for all the positive talk, Chris.
Well, now, Mike, let's go ahead and have one of the ladies, and we have another call coming in, but before we do that, why don't we have one of the ladies ask their first question? And I think it's time for Kathy to ask a question, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think it's time.
Okay. My first question is to you, Mike, is when did you start to draw, and what brought you to the draw?
What actually started
Yeah,
you drawing?
what started you
what
drawing?
motivated you?
I would have to say jealousy was my number one motivation.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I transferred to a school called Woodlawn, and
Okay.
there sixth grade, I met an artist by the name of Gary Boyle, who drew nothing but dinosaurs, and I was jealous of the
Okay.
attention he got. So, I'll just say it like this. I started drawing when I was in sixth grade, and I went into the seventh grade winning the seventh grade art contest 2 years in a row. I won the
wow.
seventh and eighth grade art show in
wow.
Steel Valley.
That
Yes,
was pretty
yes,
cool.
yes,
That's
yes. So
great.
I owe all my inspiration to a guy named Gary Boyle, and music. I love music, and as you see, like all my art, I draw, I paint a picture, and then I'll put a band's name on it. That's my thing. I love to draw and paint. Thank you.
Also, is anybody in your family besides you draw or play an instrument?
No, I don't have any musicians in my family. I have an Uncle Nick, I believe. I had an Uncle Nick that lives in Florida, and I believe he was a guitar player. I had a cousin Kelly that was a guitar player, but I would have to say I'm the best out of all of them.
Okay. None of your brothers or your sisters do any
No,
drawing?
no artist in the family but me.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
How did they view you as, oh, my fault.
Go ahead.
How did they view you as an artist?
Well, I'm like, for somebody that taught himself, like I've everything that I draw, I've taught myself. Like, certain artists have a certain medium where certain artists will draw just animals, or another artist will draw just cars. Me, I can draw anything. I like to, have a wide variety of different things, as you'll see later in the show.
Okay. Well, we're going to be getting that really quickly, but Annette wants to ask a question, I do believe.
Okay.
Well, Mike, there's no question that you're very talented. So do you have any thoughts of turning your craft into professional?
Yes, I would love to. I would love to.
Do it
Yeah,
professionally?
yeah, to go professional. I was privileged enough this summer to have some of my artwork displayed at the Brew House in Beachview, which was I got a lot of positive feedback on this. I had a couple of my paintings that were hung up in a brew house in Beachview, and I got a lot of positive.
Okay.
It was very
Oh,
nice.
that's
It was
good.
very nice.
Were you ever part of a band?
I was a part of a band. Yes, I was. I was just beginning to play bass guitar. As Chris the caller said, I was in a band, and to make a long story short, I was not good enough. I showed up one day, and they had another bass guitar player there, so I assumed they were done with me. My feelings were hurt. I was hurt like I was never hurt before. I felt sad. I felt like God turned his back on me. But you know what? That was just another motivation for me to continue to play bass.
I see.
Mike, I have a question for you. Did you ever play in any of the Homestead bands with the kids we grew up with?
No,
Never?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. I was curious.
Okay.
Okay, well, guess what? It's time for Annette. Actually, Kathy, you got to get the second call.
Caller?
If they're
Hello,
ready.
caller? You there?
This is Chris again, because I was cut off, and I have more questions for Mike.
Go ahead.
And also with your bass guitar playing, if you ever think about getting involved in another band, and if there was like a band that was looking for a bass guitar player, how would they be able to contact you? Because you are a good guitar player, and every time I see you, you always have your guitar with you, usually. And I just wonder if there was someone out there who was looking for a bass guitar, would you be willing to hook up with that band that was looking for a bass guitar player?
Yeah, that's a big step, but yeah, because I have like close to 7.5 years on. Yeah, I have close to 7.5 years on bass guitar, so I'm open for suggestions. I'm basically looking to get my foot in a church. You know, like I'd like to play for a church. That's one of my biggest motivations right now. Is I would love to get involved in like a nice, church, and maybe go from there.
That makes sense. One of the things, Chris, is that Mike and I will actually be working on creating a website for him, because at this time he does not have an online presence, and we're going to work on that. So at this particular time, it would be rather difficult to get in touch with him, but you could probably in fact, you could get more information from myself or from Kathy if you want to get in touch with him. But what we are going to be doing is creating a Mike McCutcheon type of website, blog or website, and that should be within the next, I would say, hopefully within the next 3 months. We'll be getting that online. So are you still there, Chris? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on, and then I'm going to ask Mike to go ahead and get us round number 2 on on the painting.
Okay. Here's painting number 2.
All right.
If you can see that, it's a lady with 3 tigers in front of her.
Okay.
All my art is original. It's all from my head. I don't copy anything. Like I said, I'll do a painting and I'll put a band's name on it. This band here just happens to be Mary J. Blige. But if you look there's a lady with 3 tigers there, and you're actually entering into the forest. And it took me like 2 days to do this painting. When I start painting, I like to, get motivated, and I usually like to, just knock out something that's pleasing to the eye,
Right.
Okay, so can we see?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw that. Let me see that real quick going on the side.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty cool. They're going into the forest.
Yes,
huh?
yes.
All right. I wonder if you should show that to Mary J. Blige.
Nice,
She might like that.
nice.
She might like that. She might say, hey, let's use that in the video or something.
Nice.
You never know.
Very nice.
So let's go to round number 3.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk a little bit more about your music and stuff.
This was one of the paintings.
Smashing Pumpkins.
This was one of the paintings that was actually a part of on display at the Brew House in Beachview.
All right.
Wow.
I call it the Smashing Pumpkins. It's just a lady in a pumpkin patch, turning a pumpkin into butterflies. Like I said, I love music, and that's what my whole motivation is here is music.
Right.
I'll paint a picture, I'll put a band's name on it. And the bands that I'm doing are all the bands that influenced me in my musical, in my musical career.
All right. Maybe you need to make a painting and call it Ray Charles, because
Nice,
I like Ray.
nice.
Don't forget Ray.
Yes, I can't.
I like Ray Charles.
We'll have to do one.
Okay, let's get the 4th one.
Okay, the 4th one.
And which band is this?
This is a band by the name of Tool, and this is one of my favorite paintings because it's the first painting I did without using the color black. And if you look at the painting, it's very colorful. What it is a church. And if you look here to the right, there's 3 UFOs in the sky.
Uh-oh.
The band is a very strange band. That's why I did the church scene with the UFOs in the sky and the band Tool. Yeah, they're different is what I can say.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Now we're going to have you get back to, we'll put that away safely. Explain to me the UFOs. Do you believe in UFOs?
Yes. That's
All right,
that's,
UFOs in the house.
Yes, I do believe in them, and that's one of the things that you notice how I put both a church and UFOs
Yeah, I see that.
into the same picture.
Yeah, you need to explain that one.
Well, that's because during my time of reading the Old Testament,
the Old Testament, go for it.
I would have to say that mankind was actually involved with something that was not human.
Okay.
If you look at the words the Bible uses, like words like Nephilims, and they say giants were walking the earth at that time. We definitely had communication with something that was not human beings. When they stopped communicating with us, I don't know, but I don't think they ever did stop communicating with us. They show themselves, these crop circles, and you'll have people, claiming that they've seen UFOs and stuff like that. So I am open for suggestions, and I do believe I do believe there's life other than Earth.
Well, you know what's so funny about you mentioning that and having that in the artwork is I actually recently had 2 episodes with MUFON, which is the Mutual UFO Network.
Nice.
And I'll be having a 3rd one, most likely in September.
Oh,
and
cool.
would you like to be in the audience or
that
on
would
the
be
panel
nice.
for
That would be nice, Al. That would be
All right,
really
well,
nice.
we're going to arrange that. I've also had psychics on the show.
Nice.
I've had a couple of, I even had a dead clown.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really dead. He was in a movie. He's a horror, horror, H-O-R-R-O-R, because sometimes I don't say it right. It comes out wrong. It's like sometimes when somebody calls me dude, I don't like that. At any rate. But he's on a show called The It's Alive Show, which is still on WBGN. And his name is Stiffy the Dead Clown. So we had a dead clown in here. We had a zombie in here. We had musicians in here. We had illusionists in here. We've had politicians in here. We've had just about everything in here. What do you think of that? And now we got a McCutcheon in here.
Thank you.
Thanks in the house.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so now what we need is some calls in here. About a 412, a 231, a 2288. That would be a good thing. So, okay. Now, tell me a little bit about the history of your name, your last name.
The history of my name.
The last name.
The last name.
Surname, last name, whatever they call it.
As you see here, I spell my name McCutcheon, opposed to the baseball player Andrew McCutcheon, who spells his with E-N. And I'll tell you the story of how we became E-O-N.
Okay.
It was during my mother's birth certificate that a nurse, instead of writing my mother's name E-O-N or E-N, she wrote my mother's name E-O-N.
So
that's
screwed up.
so that's
Made
where
a
we got
mistake.
the O instead. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, is there a connection in any way, shape, or form to the baseball player?
I would probably say yes, because I have family from Florida like that I don't communicate with, and my mother seems to think, but I believe that's where Andrew's family comes from is Florida, because I know my Uncle Nick, he lived in Florida, and so I'm pretty sure somewhere along the line, we're connected somewhere along the line.
Does the name McCutcheon mean anything in any particular nation that you know of?
Yes, it's Scottish, and it means son of Cutch. Is what Cutch means, I don't know, but McCutcheon is Scottish, and it stands for son of Cutch, whatever that means.
So you know what that means?
Yes.
You have a little bit of Scottish in you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And tell the audience, if you accidentally call me that D word, what is the punishment?
He's going to cut one of my dreadlocks.
I'm sorry.
Every time I use it.
I'm not really going to do that. He called me the D word, and I don't like the D word.
Okay, so
what was that word?
The dude.
We're just messing around. Hey, I want some calls here. 412-231-2288. All right, so now we covered the artwork.
Yes.
Now, you said you knock one of those out in about 2 days.
Yes.
How many hours in the first day do you usually apply to it?
Wow, that's a good question.
Okay.
Because I've done this let's say I get home from work at like 2 o'clock.
Right.
And I'll get a shower, eat, clean up. And there was one time I did a painting. I started on it at 5 o'clock in the evening.
All right.
And I finished it at 3 o'clock in the morning. But
That's
I
about 8 hours.
stayed up until I got it done.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You sound like me doing things until I get it done.
Nice,
I get
nice.
yelled at for it by these ladies over
yeah.
here. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. So let me ask you something else
It's
now.
called Family and Caring.
What was that?
It's called Caring and Family.
Nice.
I know, I'm just kidding. All right, so now let me ask you this. Let's say somebody out there in TV world were to, when you have your website, were to email you and say, hey, Mr. McCutcheon, I'd like to know if you could help me with this, and they wanted you to maybe paint their mansion or paint a picture of their mansion.
Nice.
And then also, have you actually ever done painting of a home? Or can you paint a home?
Yes, if you're talking murals, yes, I have done murals for at least 3 or 4 people.
Okay.
The first one I ever did was a girl's baby's room.
Oh, okay.
Her son loves superheroes.
Oh, okay.
So
I still like superheroes.
I went into the
We're gonna
house.
get that call in a minute.
And the job took me a week to do, but I did all kind of superheroes for the kid.
okay.
And he was a very happy
I
kid.
bet he was. Did you have Superman?
Yes,
All
Superman,
right.
Spider-Man. I put all the popular superheroes on
Did you
his
have
Wall.
Iron Man?
Yes.
All right.
And I
Iron
can
Man
tell
in
you
the
that
house.
was one happy 5-year-old kid. I can tell you he
Go
was
invite him to
very
the
happy. He was very happy.
Now, I'm of course an older guy, but I still like superheroes.
Nice.
But you know what? You see what I see on the monitor?
Yes,
we got
sir.
another call. So
Yes,
this
sir.
time it's my turn, right?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Did you do one?
Hello?
Hello, Diane's in the house.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Well, I think the world can hear you now, but go ahead.
It's Diane.
We know.
Now, this is to the McCutcheon guy.
McCutcheon
What
guy?
year did you paint your art stuff?
What year?
Pardon me?
What year did you paint your artwork?
Oh, can't you not? Never mind.
What year did I paint my art?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you ask that question again, Miss?
Well, my name is Diane. I'm his sister.
Okay.
And what year did you start painting your art stuff?
What year?
Yeah.
I would have to say, like I drew all my life, but painting is something I just started to do, and I say I've been painting for the past 10 years, but I've been drawing all my life, but painting is something I just started doing like maybe 10 years ago.
10 years,
And
Diane.
what year did you start thinking about? Can you hear me? What
Yes.
year did you start thinking about UFOs? And did you really meet the Andy McCutcheon, the baseball pirate guy? Did you really meet him?
I never met him. I never met him, but
Well, I never met him either.
But I have had many of people come up to me and tell me that I look like him. You know, I hear that almost every day. That you look like Andrew McCutcheon. You look like Andrew McCutcheon. I hear that at least 3 times a week, Miss.
So what do you think of Andrew McCutcheon and Mike McCutcheon, Diane?
Well, I wish it was the real Andy McCutcheon.
He is the real Mike McCutcheon.
I'm talking about the baseball player.
Right.
Well, he's an artist. He's helping
On the
lives out.
Pirates.
Oh, Diane, good morning.
Well,
Well, you know he's
I
an
mean,
artist.
this Andy McCutcheon knows about art.
Yes. Yes.
This is Mike McCutcheon. Michael McCutcheon.
Are you related? Are you related to? Are you related to the Andy McCutcheon is on the Pittsburgh Pirates?
I would.
Are you really? Are you related to him? Because you have the same last name.
I would have to say yes. I would have to say somewhere along the line.
Well, okay. How much money?
Hey, Diane. All right, we're gonna give
No.
you.
I
Andrew.
almost want to ask how much money he makes.
No, Andrew doesn't have anything I want. I don't want.
There you go.
There's nothing that Andrew has
You don't
that I
want
want.
money?
I have a mother that's blessed, that takes care of me. You know, I have brothers and sisters that are very well to do. You know, Andrew, there's nothing I want from Andrew. Like, it'd be nice for our families to get together and figure out where along the line we.
Well, you know what? Here's a question: if you'd really talk to the real Andy McCutcheon, tell my brother to put the real Andy McCutcheon on. You're okay too, but I want to see the real Andy McCutcheon on my brother's
Okay,
show.
we're going to say forget about it.
So find a way to get the real Andy McCutcheon on.
Colin,
And
we're going to say forget about it.
Doesn't matter with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we go, Bucks. Here we
Good
go,
night,
Bucks.
Diane.
Here we go, Bucks.
Yeah, good night, Diane. Sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Did she get on your last nerve yet? She got on mine. We're going to go there.
It's fine.
Oh, my. Well, you know, I think there's one thing about you and Andrew that is absolutely the same, and that is that you both have a lot of skill sets, and you're very good at it.
Thank you.
Okay? So actually, you do have a connection, a direct connection. And I think a lot of people don't see that, but you do have one. He has excellent skills in what he does. You have skills in what you do.
Thank you.
So one thing I would want is to get the chance to meet, not just Andrew, but any of those pirate guys. But, you know, the one thing is that I would like to say, and I got to get a little serious for a minute. One of the things that we need to stop doing is putting anybody on a pedestal for the wrong reasons. Now I almost said Mike. Andrew is a very, very good baseball player.
Yes, sir.
But he is not any more important than anybody on this panel.
Exactly.
Now, President Obama is a pretty darn good president for the most part, but he is not any more important.
That's right.
And in the Creator's eyes, we are all important.
Exactly.
And I would like to say that to the audience, and even my sister Diane. Diane, I'm sorry, public, but you know I don't play that. It's disrespectful when you call in and say you would rather see somebody else. This young man is just as important as any other person I could bring in here. You do not disrespect my guest, and this is for any future callers. I want your calls, but do not disrespect my guest, please, because everybody matters. The name of the show is Humanity Matters. It's not Andrew McCutcheon matters, President Obama matters, President Clinton matters, former President Carter or Bush or the late Reagan matters. It's not any of that. It's Humanity Matters. Can we all say the name of the show? Humanity Matters Live. What's the name of the show?
Humanity Matters Live.
Live. It's not bringing people up or down. Now, one thing I also want to say is there's nothing wrong with people reaching to the highest level. I love that. And I hope, personally, I hope that Andrew contributes to the Pirates winning their first World Series within the next 3 years. I hope they do.
Nice.
And I hope he gets 50, 60, 70 home runs, maybe more in the next 2-3 years.
Nice.
But you know what? Even if he were to get a home run every day and break all-time records, he still is no more important than anybody here. And I have to throw that out there because one thing that I deliberately did was wanted people to think that it was actually Andrew. Why? Well, because I wanted to bring people in, but also to bring people in to see the talent of you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay?
Al.
Because this is a very talented man.
Thank you, Al.
And I would do the same for Andrew, you know, because now that people know I had you on here, if I had another night with McCutcheon, they would assume that it was you. And then it would be Andrew. You see, because, and then I would not take any kind of respect away from him and talk about you that much because that would be disrespectful to him. I would like to have both the McCutcheons here at the same time. And that would be a nice little get together.
Cool.
But one thing I can't take is disrespect. And Diane is my sister. I love her. But she gets on my last nerve sometimes, so much so I'm about ready to go to one of those hospitals and get a whole set of nerve transplants. She got on my last nerve. I'm going to have to get me a nerve transplant. But seriously, though, I hope you weren't feeling bad the way she acted.
No, sir.
But I've had this too many times. And I have to tell you, audience, I love people, but when you are wrong, you will be told you are wrong. You can be the President of the United States, and I will tell you to your face, you are wrong. I may go to jail for it, but I'll still tell you, you're going to go, you're wrong. As a matter of fact, and I want to bring this up. This is July the 28th, 2014. A few years ago, the president signed into law a terrible, terrible law that basically took away the complete meaning of the United States and literally stripped away almost all of our freedom. That law is called the National Defense Authorization Act. And Congress, almost all the Republicans, and a good large majority of the Democrats signed this bill. And the president, on the last day of 2013, actually signed it into law. And there was a provision that if anybody's called that T word, the 2001 relation T word, if you're called that T word, under the current laws, you have absolutely no rights. You can be jailed with no counsel. You can be basically kidnapped and even taken out under this law. So what happened was I did a show in early 2014, and I liked the president, and I liked some members of Congress, but I called every member of Congress that signed that bill traitors and said they should be in prison for being a traitor, for treason. And then I said the president of the United States should be in prison for treason. Because I'll tell you why I said that. When you take away the laws and our civil liberties, you have basically committed treason. Having said that, if I had the power, yes, I would have to say almost every congressman and woman would be in prison right now. Right now, for at least not less than a year, including the president. And I would do that because of what they did. And I want you to research this when you get a chance. National Defense Authorization Act. Now you might think, well, what the heck's that got to do with today? It has everything to do with today. It shows that when you're wrong, I tell the truth. I don't care who you are. Unless you're the Lord God, and I'll be honest with you, even if God was wrong, I'd be going to hell because I'd be saying, well, I don't think that's right. Because, let me explain why. Let me give you a background real quick. The reason why I'm like that is because when we allow disrespect, inequality, criminal, malicious behavior, or the stripping of our nation or anything like that, when we allow that or we allow injustice anywhere, we allow it everywhere.
Yes, yes.
And Martin Luther King said, if there is injustice anywhere, there is injustice everywhere. And I'm going to tell you something straight out. If anybody disrespect my family, and you are considered my extended family now, that's right, Diane.
Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody disrespect my family, you will deal with me, legally and peacefully. But let me be extremely clear. I do a G-rated show, but if you disrespect my family, sometimes I get a little bit angry. When I get angry, my voice gets extremely loud, and I can make the devil go to the bathroom in his pants. And I mean that. You don't have to believe me. Just ask anybody that I ever got really pissed at. The point of that is this. Let us not disrespect Mr. McCutcheon here. Let us not try to exchange one person for another. This man is a living, breathing human being. He is very talented, and we're going to get back to that in a minute. But before we do, I would like my colleagues to give comment on what I just said, or they could say, Albert, shut the hell up. So who wants to go first, giving comment? How about Kathy? Come on, Kathy. What you got to say?
I agree with everything you said.
Don't look at me. Look at the audience.
I agree with everything you said, Al, because it's true. You shouldn't. It's just wrong how people act. It's just not right. Everybody's the same, but we all have, feelings.
That's right. And that before we get this call, we're going to get this call after you give your comment. I want you to actually get this call after you give your comment, and then we're going to talk about his music a little bit.
Well, I agree with what you said, as usual. And I think it's time that people consider others a lot more than they do and treat others as you would want to be treated, as it's often said.
And never disrespect people, right?
Right.
Well, I want to give Mike the opportunity real quick. We're going to get to you. Don't go anywhere, call. What do you think about what I said? Right, wrong, or am I full of hot air?
I would have to say you're right. I would have to say you're pinpoint right. Like I give Obama a lot of credit as a president, but I feel like he could do certain things differently. Right. I feel that he's more or less trying to please a certain type of people than to please the entire Americans. Like, I give Obama credit for being a president, but there's things that I feel that he should do differently.
So you're saying that nobody should get a free pass? Would you say it's sort of like that?
Yes. I would say on that basis, yes.
Well, I want to give one more comment with regards to that law that I told you about, the National Defense Authorization Act and that provision. My biggest thing is I was shocked when I saw that he actually signed that, because it basically gives the United States a right to kill and imprison anybody if they're called that, which is it's taken away our country, which is shocking. But still, I do like the guy. And I don't necessarily agree he's trying to appease certain people. I think, honestly, his life has been threatened if he doesn't appease those people.
Exactly, yes.
If he doesn't appease them.
Yes.
I would say I would go there.
Yes.
I would go there.
Yes.
But I don't know. But at any rate, Annette has a job to do, so Annette, if you will.
Caller, you're on.
Can you lower your phone, whoever you are, so we can actually hear you?
When we were talking about respect.
Hello? Hello? Oh, looks like we had a fake call or something, or either that or we lost our call.
She dropped her phone or something.
Something went down. Let me just say, I want your calls, but when you do call, please lower your TV, because we're going to get feedback otherwise, and we're going to say hello to you, and you're going to get an echo. So you have to lower your TV, or else you're going to get hello, 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 hello. You don't want none of that. But at any rate, you know what? I want to do something a little bit of a change up, since we only have about 15, 20 minutes. I'd like you to do something a little bit different. Get two of your pieces of artwork again, two of them out this time, and hold them both out.
Okay.
Pick the two that you like the most. Take a good look at them. I'd like the audience to take a really good look at them, and then I'm going to ask you a question about them. If you can do one at a time if it's easier.
Yeah, I would say these two here.
Okay, let's take a good look at those. So we got, okay, now which one? The Smashing Pumpkins and the Toll. Okay, take a good look, ladies, if you could see that, ladies and gentlemen. And think about the time and effort it takes to do something like that, and to learn it and be self-taught. And I hope that you can appreciate that. Okay, it's okay to put them away now.
Okay.
Appreciate the time and effort that takes. I certainly appreciate it. Now, with regards to, a couple of people want to know how they can see these when you're not on TV. I would say this to the audience. I'm going to do my part helping you to get an online presence.
Nice.
And the only thing I would caution is I don't know a lot about security. So we got to be careful what we put up there, because people may basically try to take the picture and then steal it.
Right.
So we got to be a little bit careful with that. We'll see how we can do that. But at the very least, what I promise for the audience, you will have a picture and a way for people to email you.
Nice.
And you will have a presence on the internet. Hopefully by the time you're back here again.
Nice.
That is if you agree to it.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Do
yes,
you officially agree to
yes,
it?
Yes.
If we shake hands, I'm old school. If we shake hands, the deal is made. So we're gonna shake hands.
Nice.
And if you don't do the deal, what are you gonna get?
I'll do the deal. I'll do the deal.
You don't want to be Kojak.
No, I don't. No.
No offense to Telly Savalas. All right. Well, now let's go on another avenue here. What do you want to talk about? Your art? I mean, your music, or being a cook? What do you want to talk about? Pick something. And tell them number 412-231-2288. We need more calls.
I would
What would you like to really talk about? And it could be anything.
what I would
As long as
really
it's G-rated.
Okay, what I would really like to talk about now, I would like to see justice done for that airplane that was shot down over the Ukraine.
Wow.
I believe the Russians shot that plane down out of spite. They knew it was a commercial airline. It was not a war project. Mm-hmm. This was a commercial airline with almost 300 innocent people on that plane that had nothing to do with what was going on. I believe the Russians shot that plane down out of spite, and I believe somebody should pay. Somebody should pay for the murder of 300 or close to 300 people. You know,
Right.
you know that you know it's so sad, because when it happened, you had the Russians blaming the Ukrainians, and then you had the Ukrainians blaming the Russians. But everybody in America that knows what, you know, the Russians shot that plane down.
Well, we haven't. I don't. As far as I know, they haven't concluded that. Right?
They didn't.
Well, here's what I have to say about that. I agree with you. Somebody should be held responsible. And guess who that person is? President Vladimir wants to start a war, Putin. Vladimir Putin. I've already addressed this on a podcast and a blog, but more importantly, you know, Vladimir is wrong what he did.
Yes, he was. Yes,
There
he
should
was.
be justice.
Yes.
But Vladimir is just one, and I have to be careful how I say this. He's just one piece of evil that's out there, and he needs to be able to learn how to change. I want to say this, and I didn't plan on going political, believe it or not, really. Every war on this planet needs to cease. Every religious battle, Muslims killing Muslims, Muslims killing Christians, Muslims killing Jews, Muslims killing, whatever, Christians killing Muslims, Christians killing Jews, Christians killing Christians. And war as a whole, throughout the history of humanity, we need to stop that. But we have to go further than that. We have to also stop the genocide and the rapes of women in certain countries. And it's time that the community of the globe takes the legal and peaceful, and if necessary, physical power to get rid of all dictators and warmongers of the planet.
Nice.
And it sounds like some far off dream. But let me tell you why it's not a dream. If one person on this planet stands up, and then another person stands beside them, and then thousands, and then hundreds of thousands, then millions, we can change this planet. We can end war. We can end hunger. You can end all these things. Why do you think in 2004 I named this this series, Humanity Matters? So yeah, we can do the impossible, but at least you think that somehow I'm on some drugs and really far out. Least you think it can't be done. May I remind you that apartheid was in South Africa for more than 300 years, and it finally ended. And the majority of the resistance was peaceful. Nelson Mandela was one of the people that stood up, and people gravitated around Nelson Mandela. And most of the way that apartheid ended was through peaceful resistance. Let's go to America in the 60s. Peaceful resistance caused the civil rights movement. Let's go to India back, I'm not sure when, probably early 1900s or mid 1900s. India, human rights and civil rights came because Gandhi stood up. And most of it throughout history has been non-violence. For those of you who do not believe that you personally can be the instrument of change, if you do not believe that, then there's no point in watching a show that tells you that we can do it. I mean, the fact is, we can do it. It's been done. The only thing it takes is action, dedication, and the willingness to give up all that you have to give in order to make a better planet.
Amen.
If you don't give a dang,
Amen.
sit there, play with your iPod and ignore it. But if you love life, if you love the Creator, if you love yourself, believe it and then achieve it. With that,
Amen,
it's your
Al.
turn this time.
Okay,
We got another call.
we're gonna take the call. Hello, caller.
Hi. You were talking about like war and peace. I believe that there is a world where there can be peace and people can talk out wars instead of being destructive and killing each other.
You're right. We can. Are you still there, caller?
No, she hung up.
You're absolutely right. We can. And we have to quit having the fear.
Okay.
You still there, caller? Hello?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
hold on. Let me talk to my TV because I can't hear you.
All right. It happens. Technical problems, America.
Okay, I think I can hear you now.
All right. Well, you are absolutely right. We can change and we can speak about peace, but we also have to put more things in the equation.
I agree with that.
So what do you think about my statement about how we can actually change the globe? What's your thoughts on that?
We can change the globe. I agree with you with that. Like, the world can change itself. All we need is one person, a couple people to stand up to the world and change.
Amen.
Change the way of war. Change the way of peace. Like, make peace.
Well, let me ask you a tough question. I have a very tough question for you. Do you get on the internet?
Yes, I do get on the internet.
Will you commit to doing something every day to make that change? To spread some love online?
Yes, I will.
Well, then guess what? You're already doing what you need to do. You're already
That's
doing
right.
it. Now about Mr. McCutcheon that we have here. We have about 10 minutes left. What would you like Mr. McCutcheon to address?
Like, talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to talk about, like, when you were talking about respect, I had like a statement I wanted to say.
Yes.
Well, the statement was, I feel that all people should have respect, like you said. And everybody has their own respect levels. And when people cross that level, it's wrong, and they need to be punished for that. Like, the call you caught, that was, like, I understand that was very disrespectful to you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what the Russians are doing in the Ukraine and what they did to that plane is disgusting. If they actually did it, personally, I believe they did do it. But we have got to stop war around the globe.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to close down. You sound like a very interesting young lady. Why don't you email me and maybe we can have you on the air to bring out your views. I hope you're over the age of 18. If you're not, you'll have to get your parents' permission. But my email address that you can actually get in touch with me is actually in the credits. But I have a couple email addresses, but use this one. And this is for all my audience. You can email me directly at ALBIZ, the numbers 22h@gmail.com. So it's LBiz22h. I'd like to hear from you, or read some of your email, and I'd like to hear from all my audience. But young lady, what did you think when I kind of corrected my sister? Do you think I was wrong to do that publicly, or do you think that was the right thing to do?
I think it was the right thing to do, like especially embarrassing somebody on live television. I think it was very right of you to do that.
Well, thank you, because I sometimes my sister gets me so upset. I just want to. Well, you're too young for this, but there was a comedy called Eddie Murphy Raw, and let's just say that it was XXXX language rating. He'll cuss you out. But Diane knows better than that. And if she does that again, I'm going to ban all her calls. That's right, Diane, if you're still watching. You do that again, no more calls from Diane. And yes, I will do that, because Diane knows I do it my way. So I will thank you. And what is your first name?
Leah.
Aaliyah?
No, yeah.
Oh, Ia. Okay, Ia. Okay, that's a cool name. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on. I hope you'll listen to the rest of the show. We're getting ready to close it down, but we have a couple of sound offs that I think that you'll enjoy. Well, you may not enjoy hearing it, but it's important. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the sound offs. But before I do, actually, the first one is the super small cars. And we're going to actually get Mike's opinion first, Annette's opinion second, Kathy's third, and then Mr. Loudmouth's fourth. So your opinion of these super small cars.
My opinion on super small cars, Al.
The ones that look like little bucko cars.
Yeah. To be truthful, Al, I don't have a comment. I really don't.
You don't have a comment?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, well, then we'll go on to the next person.
I do. I understand they save on gas, which is convenient, but they're death traps. And to me, a person's life and people's lives are more important than how much gas you save. There's bigger cars that save on gas that aren't so risky if you get involved in an accident that it could kill you. So I think it's a shame that they're producing these cars, they're manufacturing these little dinky little cars just to save on gas. Now, if you live in a country like Al said that has small cars frequently, that are popular like that, then the risk is lowered. But here in America, you're asking for trouble.
Okay, and now since we're getting almost close to closing time, we got 3 minutes. Quickly, Kathy, your point.
I just think you might, if you're going to use those little cars, you might just get those little go-karts and just drive in them.
How about that call, Al?
Ride a bike.
Do we have another call in, or is that from back?
I think we do. I think we do have another call.
Because we only have about a minute and a half. Okay, I think we're going to have to. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Nora, we got about a minute and a half. How you doing?
Hello?
Hello? We're here. Hello? 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 Hello, Nora?
We lost her.
I think we lost you. Colin, did we lose our call? Hello, Nora?
Hello, Nora?
I think
yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm turning off my phone so I can hear you too. I am just so happy to be watching you this evening and your guests, and I just want to thank you. And I love little cars. My first car was a Carmen Ghia, a Volkswagen, and it was wonderful to get around from the north side to the hill and back again on the less gas. But, of course, I grew out of it because I had my family, and, of course, I couldn't fit everybody in that Karmann Ghia. But it was wonderful at the time, and the Fastback came out. The Volkswagen really was a wonderful car to have if you want a small car. So I give a plus to it, but you do have to be a careful driver, and, of course, we all should. But thank you, Al and Annette, for all your work that you do.
You're welcome.
And over the years, I have just been blessed to have you as my friend.
Well,
and I want to
you.
thank you and your family, too, Al.
Well, thank you, and don't forget to give me a call.
Well, keep in touch.
Give us a call sometime in this week. Well, we only have a minute left, so we're going to go ahead and close out the calls. We didn't get to high fructose, but that is an additive which is a sugar substance. It's made out of sugar, but it's basically a cheap,
It's a
toxic
corn syrup.
chemical syrup. And I wanted to get out of all products, and I would like you, the consumers, as I will fight to get them out of all products because they are toxic. We need to get high fructose out. But with that, we are going to close down. So everybody, remember to stay safe, and remember that you and humanity and all forms of life, yes, it really does matter.
It's just an old train, winding its way down through history. Thought I heard a voice saying, better call the right name. Up on board for eternity. I'll see what I can borrow. Head on back where I was raised, in Black Earth country where life's slow and easy, and a new dawn, something to be praised. Guess what we believe or refuse to believe? What's true, in fact, remains the same. Win or lose, we all get to choose, and in the end, there'll be no one else left to blame. Thought it was a jet plane, but it was just an old train, winding its way down through history. Thought I heard a voice say, I better call the right name. Hop on board for eternity. Hear what the voice says. Call Jesus. Hop on board.